What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Business Breakthrough. In today's episode, I sit down with Jake and Joe of Blue Water Stoneworks, and awesome guys. Great conversation, really just hammering out some strategy. They own a hardscaping company, which I was really happy about because I don't really talk to too many hardscaping contractors, and really just trying to hammer out the foundational pieces of really just getting out of production, growing their business. And then they threw a curveball at me. And you're going to find out what that curveball is. You're going to really enjoy this business breakthrough, and it starts right now. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Business Breakthrough. I'm here with Jake and Joe of Blue Water Stoneworks. Finally got some hardscape guys in here. It's a little bit different, so I'm excited. So first thing, man, let's just dive in. I got two guys here. What's your guys' roles in the company? So who's the owner? Are you guys partners? Want a manager? What's that look like?
Partners.
We started. Okay. How long have you guys been in business?
We're just finishing up our third season.
Cool. Wow. Nice. And you guys have been in business since the beginning?
Yep.
Awesome. We'll have to do a separate episode on how to maintain a 3-year partnership in business. I think that'll be
friends too.
Yeah, we'll have to get that one going. So let's talk about it, man. So when I start these, you've listened to a few. It's usually about what's working well and what's an area that you feel could be going a little better. You just want some insight on that I can maybe assist with.
Well, we feel like we've really started to kind of nail down as far as like our price point and the work we're doing, and we're getting pretty good at that. We're really starting to see some success. And in the past couple of years, I mean, this was kind of something we were doing, but we weren't 100% sure if this was like, are we really 100% in on this? And this year has kind of shed some light on the fact that like, this is something we enjoy. This is something we're finding success at, and we want to go 100% with it. So we're looking to pursue that further.
And what is that specifically? So is that a specific service within your scope of work? Is that what you're referring to?
I mean, we've really stuck to the hardscaping the whole time. Like we try to promote.
So you would do other things, right? You would do, landscaping, of course, like you would do flowers and stuff like that, but you're more concerned about building the backyards, right.
Yeah. That's our main, because there's not a lot of companies in the area that just focus on doing that. And sure. I mean, realistically, that's where more of the money is. The landscaping is nice, is kind of like filler jobs and stuff to keep things going, or I mean, it makes our stuff look better. So why not add that to a job? But the hardscaping is really where we shine.
So do you guys have a courtyard?
We don't. That's one thing right now that we're looking to get a yard. We're lucky we have a lot of good connections within the community where we can, get our stuff around. And we have.
Have you ran into any supply issues lately? I mean, because I know that some people have run into. I had somebody wanted pavers done, and they're waiting a while just for pavers. How's that impacted your business?
Yeah, it certainly did. Last year was difficult, especially for finding supply. This year we've been much better with managing that. We at the start of the year, picked several things that we always know we use, and we ordered a ton of it at the start of the year, and our supplier will hold that for us. And then we can just draw from it throughout the year as we need, which has been really good. And we kind of tell our customers, like, if you want this job done, here's some things you can choose from. If you want to pick something completely,
if you want to wait, here's what you can choose from. Right. Yeah. Exactly. No, that's smart. I mean, you got to be strategic. I love that you have an inventory-less business and you're utilizing everyone else's shop. That's kind of how we do it in the painting business. Sherwin-Williams holds all my paint, so I don't have a shop, I mean, so it's smart business. What's the worker situation look like? Do you guys have employees, or do you guys use subs? What does that look like?
We have employees, but like we really haven't been 100% legitimate with it, which is something we desperately need and we are looking to do. Like, especially we really want to get like a foreman or someone really competent that can lead a crew, because right now it's us doing all of that, I mean, you can get labor help, that's fine, but someone that can, take something start to finish and know what they're doing.
Well, I assume that you're probably doing the sales, right?
I'm predominantly doing the sales,
Okay.
and I would say one of the biggest things we're
Yeah.
struggling with is like your like slogan of your business is try not to make yourself a job and make yourself a business, right?
Right. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we've been doing that for 3 years, and now we're really struggling with how to automate and bring the business together so that we're strictly doing the business side. We can like go on Monday to Friday to make sure that everything's doing well, but
Yeah.
how do you get to that point, right?
Well, I think doing sales is the business side. I think there's nothing wrong with being a full-time salesman of your business in year, 2, 3, 4. If because again, you guys are a partnership, so there's not really a lot of room to bring in a salaried salesperson or somebody that you want to pay commission till you hit probably about $1.2 million, $1.5 million, where you can justify paying 80,000 to a seasoned salesperson. You know what I'm saying? So you're doing the right thing being in sales. That's working on your business. And Jake, your role primarily is what? Project management then?
Yeah, project management, and honestly construction too. Like
And I feel yeah. And you said, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's probably been a bit of a crutch that I love doing the work. So sometimes, I don't do the best job letting other guys learn and letting them
Yeah.
step into that role because
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it, or I
So-
want to get the work done.
So everything that we try to do in business, whether, if we know our goal is to have a repeatable, duplicatable process, everything we got to do in our business has to have a system. You've heard me say that, but I do get a little concerned with hardscapes. Not that I haven't coached hardscapers before. I look at that business like I know that's a hard business to systemize because a lot of things are out of your control. With painting, I can go, okay, you want the walls done, ceiling done, trims done, doors done. I mean, the only variable there is what color they choose, right? Or sometimes maybe the product. With what you guys are doing, if somebody picks a small, 2x3 paver or whatever versus a 6x, like that's a harder job. That's more labor. That's more, you got to have a different skill set. Someone knows how to cut those a little bit better, right? Am I in line with that?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right. So the labor pool is a little bit more difficult for you guys than it is for me, even if you boil down your business to the core, because you're not going to limit people to picking simple things because that's not why they're hiring you. They want the wow factor. They look at a picture and they show you and say, hey, can you make this happen? Is that usually how it works?
Yes. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So,
We've got an idea and we got to bring it to life.
Yeah, well, that's Joe actually, because he's the one going into the sale. So he's probably the one getting those too. And he's like, dude, can we do this? So let's talk about the production, because like sales is going to be easy because again, you guys are personable, there's not many people doing it. So for us to spend any time talking about sales is worthless because you guys can sell it. Marketing, dude, let me tell you something. All you guys got to do is turn on Facebook ads. Forget it. Show before and after. You'll never run out of work. Like that's where the focus should be. Is Facebook when you guys get there. You guys doing any advertising at all? I mean, probably not, right?
No,
to
really
be
not
honest,
much.
in our whole business lifeline, we've like this whole summer we've never missed a day of work. We've like just through reference.
What did I tell you? I know. Like it's just. I mean, it's like it's a given. Is there a Do you guys have a lot of jobs in the pipeline that you can't even start for reasons that are outside your control right now?
Well, right now, like we're on our last job of the year because we're in Canada and it's getting cold.
Right.
But we do have about 4 jobs booked for next year already.
Right. Cool.
And
I mean, again, like I said, finding the jobs and selling the jobs is going to be cake for you guys. It's the production that's the issue here. We know that. Like it's the system of production. Now, there is a little bit of a drawback not having a courtyard for you guys. Okay, I'll tell you kind of why. I've seen some successful landscaping operations just from my business mind, looking up random things and seeing how things work, and there's some camaraderie that happens on those courtyards where you're creating roles, you're making sure inventory's there, you're having that team meeting in the morning because you guys have a heavy inventory business, and it's probably going to save you guys some cost if you can register as a distributor. So you would create a distributor entity, kind of like how your distributor does, that would sell the materials to the business. So you would get a sort of a tax break, which means if you become a distributor, you don't have to pay taxes to where you get the materials from, and they don't have to pay taxes on the sale. And then obviously your landscaping business would have to pay taxes to the distributing company. Like that's deep, but that's a huge benefit of having a courtyard because you do get that tax break. I don't think it's going to be a crazy investment for you guys to find a courtyard, but I also feel like if you're trying to create that team atmosphere, that camaraderie, that sort of thing in your space specifically, and the training that I believe that should take place to be able to do these sort of things, a courtyard is going to be a huge advantage for you guys. You can actually control the training that's not on the property of the customer because there's so many different things. What I'm trying to do is help you understand that in order for you to really be successful, you've got to take people that don't have experience or very little experience. Maybe they've been in landscaping, or maybe they've cut grass for a living, or maybe they want to learn that hardscape. And it's hard to create training on a customer's house. And that's probably what you guys have been doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you probably go in there and you're like, dude, we can't teach this right now. I got to take over because it's just going to take too long.
Yeah.
Right. So
exactly.
unless you create that training environment again, and I could be talking, am I going in the wrong direction? Like, am I hitting it? I'm just a painting contractor, bro. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. But where I'm getting at is that you've got to understand that like, you're going to always be in this cycle unless you pump the brakes and stop, which you have some time now. Like, could you rent out a air conditioned building and create a training environment on how to cut this concrete, on how to do certain cuts, on how to do all this during the winter? Could that be a strategy that you can implement? Probably. I mean, if you really thought about it, you don't really need to be outside, do you?
It creates
some
a big
things
mess every time you're cutting, but I mean, if we had some kind of filtration system but I mean,
come on, man, I deal with cabinet painters all the time, bro. I mean, you know what they do? They spray their cabinets inside of warehouses and they create filtration that just goes out and they filter it out. I'm just saying that there's got to be a time period and a system for training. Because again, I've already identified the big problem here, and what is the production. Legitimizing the production, I feel like isn't going to be a hard thing for you guys. I mean, clearly you care enough about your business to get, coaching. You're going to care enough about your business. Find a payroll company to do it for you. I mean, for you, it might be, do you have a payroll company now? Or is it kind of just write the check and have a good week?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I talk about hiring, and I don't know how many podcasts you listen to, a lot of it does have to do with hiring. And, you're going to win this game if you have proprietary production, but not just, proprietary production. That's production that you own. That's production that you can say, hey, you go here on this date and you do this at this time, and I'm going to pay you this, and that's how it's going to go. That would make you guys feel like you're getting somewhere. With that, you got to expect the people that want that sort of that will agree to work in that sort of environment want the stability of a paycheck with employer taxes and all that stuff being taken out. This stuff. All I'm telling you is I don't want to waste too much time on it. All I'm telling you is find someone else to do it for you, because I don't even know how to do it. I found Gusto. I think there's a Canadian version of it. They might even operate in Canada. Sign up with them. All you got to do is put in the hours each person works and they get paid.
Yeah. I was literally going to ask that because we've heard you talk about Gusto and I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I was like,
all it is an online HR portal where you essentially onboard. So you would ask how many guys you got working for you now?
We had 4 throughout the summer, and in the last 2 months, it's just been one guy with the 2 of us.
So you're down to one. Why did the other 3 guys leave? Honestly, was there something what was the reason?
2 of them were back into school. So when school started in September, they went back. And then the one guy got a different position.
Okay. So he found a different position. Okay. So you have one guy working with you. So now it's just you and that one guy. So you're pretty stressed right now.
Honestly, it's not too bad. Hardscaping, a smaller, but again, it's
as a worker, you're not stressed. I'm talking as a business owner.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm stressed as a business owner.
Yeah. Joe's like, because Joe. Well, here's the problem. Joe gets people that want these jobs done probably before the winter, right? Or they want something done. And he has to say no, and he can't do his job. He can't sell because he knows production isn't there. I mean, is that what's happening, Joe?
Realistically, we did that quote yesterday where if we had a team that could go, we would get that job done.
It was done. Yeah, it was a signature on the paper.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have to say, well, it's going to be next year.
That's hard. And the thing is that you're lucky Joe's got a charming personality because they want to work with him. But if he didn't, they would have just found the next guy to do it. That's missing out on an opportunity. You guys built such a brand over these 3 years. The problem is that this is always the problem. Usually when especially because you guys have partners, you're splitting the profit probably in half, and it's like, dude, that production's got to be the focus. So here's some strategy that I'm thinking. Number one, you either get a courtyard. You got to start training these people, teaching people your skills, dude. And don't worry if they start their own business, let them go, man. If that's a fear of like, if I teach these guys everything, will they go be our competitors? I mean, you can't live your life that way. I don't know. Some people who listen think that. And I'm like, dude, just treat, people I've taught how to paint, and I got 3 people that started their own businesses, and they hit me up for advice. Like, I mean, whatever, dude, there's enough work for us all, I mean? So at the very least, I know they're pricing their jobs right. So, when I give a price on top of them, if that ever happens, the price is going to be close, so just if that's an idea, get rid of that, but the mindset is training. So how do we get somebody from start to finish? Now, let me ask you this. What has your hiring been like? Like, how do you hire? If I said, all right, so we got to hire today. If I coach you guys throughout the whole day today, and I said, we need to find a hire today, that's what we need to do, even though I think we should, like 100%. But how would you approach it on your own? Like, what was the strategy before, and what would you do right now?
Well, in the past, honestly, a lot of it's just been, one was like our main guy this summer was a friend of mine that we had worked hardscaping previously.
So have you ever taken somebody from thin air and brought them through your process?
No.
You need to, man. That's where they all are. Unfortunately, our own network sometimes isn't even that good. So like we've got to exercise other resources. And I think you guys need to get some reps in doing this, because and I honestly think, Joe, this should be your responsibility, because if all you're doing is selling throughout the day.
No, I'm here on the job site too. Just
you're helping.
Yeah.
But if there's sales or something that needs to be addressed, like he
So Joe, this I'm talking to you now, because if he right now he's got your business is bleeding. He's got to make sure that the bleeding doesn't get too bad. He needs to be on the job all day. So this is for you, man. So let's talk a little bit about hiring and what you need to be doing. So number one, you're in Canada. Pretty sure there's a major need for the trade jobs right now up there. Would you agree?
Yep.
Most of the people that need the trade jobs or that would want to go do this, chances are they don't have experience. Okay.
Yeah.
So what, Jake, your responsibility should be is, number one, we need to identify what is our hot job, right? What job do you guys get more often than not? Could you tell me?
I mean, just like patios, but again, that varies so much, right? Like we do backyard patios and stuff, but.
Okay. So let's talk about, all right. So we have the job, but what skill, like for us in painting, there's like 3 major skills: brushing, rolling, and spraying. Like all I do is focus on those skills. What 3 skills would you have to teach me? I've never hardscaped. I don't know what I'm doing, but if I started with you, what would be the first 3 skills you would want me to master?
Grading. Like building a proper base.
Okay.
And then maybe like walls and steps.
Okay. Walls and steps. So what do you mean by walls?
Like retaining walls. A lot of people
like building a retaining wall. Okay.
Yeah.
Walls,
either a structural retaining wall or a decorative retaining wall for like.
So let's start there. Okay. So out of those 3, what is the basic skill? Which one do you think you could teach me to do first? And I would grading.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I were to start with you tomorrow and you were only assigned to teach me grading, how long would it take me to learn it? Or what would your expectation be for me to learn that skill?
Honestly, like if I taught you on one job and we kind of did it together, I would expect you to be able to do it reasonably on the next job.
Okay. Give me a buffer, right? So like, you know what I'm saying? I just came out of an IT job. I just got fired from, and I want to work in the trades. All right. Give me a break. So I just learned how to use a shovel. So maybe a couple jobs, right? Like give me a couple weeks, like 2 weeks, right? To be good at it, to where you could like say, all right, man, you grade that. I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks. All right. 2 weeks. Okay. So we got grading for 2 weeks. How about walls?
Honestly, it's really not that bad. Again, like maybe another 2 weeks. Like it just takes it's just a matter of making sure things are level and like double and triple checking your.
So 2 weeks for walls. All right. And how about steps?
Again, it's fairly similar to walls. It's just a matter of checking your grades, checking your heights, and
2 weeks,
repetition.
right?
Sure.
Dude, we just created the 6-week Blue Water Stonework training program. First 2 weeks, you come onto the job, we're going to teach you how to grade. The second 2 weeks, you come on the job, we're going to teach you how to do walls. And the third 2 weeks, you're expected to learn how to do steps. If you make it through this 6-week process, we will offer you a full-time job and you will be secure. Do you see how easy that is?
Yeah.
You see, I mean that, but now we got to go deeper now, because your job, Jake, is to say, okay, what does that grading process look like? Can I get it out of my head and can I put it on paper? Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you can get it out of your head, now we're creating what we call a standard operating procedure, right? So we have the Blue Water Stoneworks standard operating procedure. This is how we need to grade different substrates, right? So you're going to think of all the scenarios that you've ran into in your experience, of all the different things that you know, because you know and I both know there's no two substrates the same. There's no two area the same. So although you say I should be able to grade in 2 weeks, what if I run into, some softer terrain, or you get it. I'm just being general here, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that so your job is to create this training program. You have to do this because, again, we got to create a system of predictability, duplication. We got to be able to take someone in. We don't have a business if we can't take in at any level an entry level employee. Do you think Walmart would survive if they couldn't take in entry level employees? They're barely surviving now. They'd be screwed if they can only take people that had stocking experience, just using a bad example. But you get what I'm saying. We've got to be able to nurture them. If you can do that, you guys will be the best company around, because you have something many other companies don't, is a training program, and you pretty much have your own pool of resources at any given time, So for you, again, kind of reiterating here, grading, walls, steps, that's the 6-week training program. What is that going to look like? What are you expecting out of it? What can you teach? Now, here's another thing you guys can put together is this hiring packet that has videos online of people teaching other people how to do grading, right? Can we go on YouTube and look up grading?
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely. So you would know that video and then you would quiz that person on that video. I mean, it's really about how much you're investing on freeing yourself. This is what the goal is here, is to free yourself. Like, if you want to continue to do everything, all the information that your company needs is proprietary and it's up here. You need to get it out of there because no one else can do it. Unless you have somebody that's really experienced, but you're running into an issue finding those people, right?
Yeah.
So, and how about you, Joe? What are some concerns you have about hiring, man? Have you ever hired before? Do you ever have any management experience? Have you ever held a formal interview?
No, never. Recently,
Okay.
all we've been doing. So here's the problem that we're running into. So being in Canada, we're hardscaping. It's hard finding people who strictly want like a seasonal position. So that's been throwing kind of a loop in what we want to do, and finding someone who's very experienced is tough when they have 5 or 6 months that are now.
Yeah. So what do you guys do during that time? How do you guys make money?
It's kind of varied in the past, but to be honest, just in the last little while, we're thinking of starting a painting business in the winter here, and
Nice.
partially after
Pivot,
listening to
man.
you.
I love that. You should absolutely. You can work inside. I was thinking maybe you guys should also install AstroTurf. I don't know. That would be cool. So, but I don't know the market. The neighbors don't really want AstroTurf. So, dude, painting business is great. It's a great pivot. In any case, at the end of the day, you gotta pivot you gotta survive, right? I mean, that's a smart business model. Paint during the winter. Go outside during. You might even love painting so much, you're like, screw this, I'll just do painting.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I'm not afraid to recruit another brother of the brush here. But I'll just say this. You got to dial this plan in. I mean, you're getting to the point where hiring right now probably wouldn't be the best idea for hardscaping. You're not gonna have a job for the next 5 to 6 months. I'm just saying, when you do hire, is there any successful hardscaping companies in your area that you guys you maybe can model? Like, what are they doing during that time? Like, how are they surviving during the winter?
Yeah, I would say there's 2 companies that are quite successful. One has really turned themselves locally into, they have like a huge store where they sell all the plants and all the dirt and everything, and they
Right.
do all
Yeah.
they're
So
massive.
they kind of,
And
right.
then there's another company that's kind of on the other end. Their skill set is extremely high. They're very talented at what they do, but they've limited themselves to, it's 2 brothers that run it, and it's just them and one, maybe two other guys. And in the winter, like I think they're janitors in the winter, like they have another job.
I don't know. I'm all about survival, man. Like if I were you guys, and as much as like, I'm sure you like hardscaping. I mean, there's things that I like to do, but I love painting because I can work inside and outside. I mean, what a business, right? Roofers can't do that.
Yeah.
You guys can't do that. Flooring companies don't have to worry about it, but painting gives you that option to stay busy throughout the winter. So I think about it, definitely worth another coaching session. I mean, I could start a little bit. I'll tell you this, at the end of the day, the skill can be learned very quickly if you limit what you do. If you know the word, if you understand the word no, I'm sure, you guys know what that's like. If your customer tells you they want a moat with alligators in it, you probably say no. It's the same thing with us guys. I mean, essentially, if customers want me to remove wallpaper in a whole house, sorry, we don't do that. You have to get it done before we come, because why? I could do it, but I don't want to stress out my team. When I agreed with employment with them, I pretty much gave them the parameters of what we would be doing. They expect that when they wake up in the morning. I'm not expecting everyone to have a good day. I can't expect that to where when they wake up in the morning, oh, by the way, I set you up with a full house wallpaper removal today. The energy in that environment is not going to be favorable toward me. And I try to avoid that at all times, man. So, I mean, again, we talked about this early. I think before I even hit the record button on this, is that like these principles are synonymous. Again, when it comes to painting, do any of you have painting experience?
I don't.
I do a little bit.
Yeah, Jake's done everything. So Jake, we got rolling, cutting, spraying. You might be able to get away without even spraying if all you do is interior painting for the next. You don't even need to spray really. You could do everything by brush and roller. But where I'm getting at is do what we just did. Okay, what are those skills that we need to do? Can we bring someone in cold and can we turn them into a employee? And I think this would be the power move right now if you guys actually did this and you call it blue water painting. Blue water painting, done, call it that. And then eventually you guys grow it to the point where one runs one and the other runs the other, and you guys don't have to worry about it. I mean, if your employees are, you can interchange the employees, you could cross train them how to do it during the winter. If they want to work, some of them want to go on vacation or whatever, you could do that. So Joe, real quick, man, I got to give you some hiring advice before we get out of here, man. All right. So number one, you got to have a system. Anything you guys do in business, it's got to have a system. Like, whether you know it or not, it's got one. It probably isn't repeatable, and you just probably have never written it down. So right now, your system in hiring for blue water stonework is if we know somebody who knows somebody, we'll give them a chance. That's your system, whether you like it or not, right? So you need to create something that's a little more structured. Okay. So number one, there's people out there that would love to work for you guys. 100%. I would actually want to work with you guys. You guys, nice guys. You guys have, you're cool. I would hang out with you guys and work with you. Okay. That would be cool. I would probably want to leave my old job who guy doesn't appreciate me to work with guys like you. The problem is when I feel that way and I have that feeling of like, I want to leave, you guys are nowhere to be found on the interweb, right? Because that's how we look for jobs now. We Google, jobs, we go on Indeed, or I'm not sure if there's a bigger one in Canada. I don't really know. Is Indeed big over there?
I have us on Indeed right now.
You have it on Indeed. Okay, good. So when you put out that ad, can I ask you, what does that ad say? Like, what did you write on there?
I basically took a summary of like 7 other hardscape companies around Ontario and copied that. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Okay. All right, cool. So you put that out there. Now, my question to you is, what were you looking for when you put that out there?
We were looking for someone who can take like a lead hand role, potentially for next season. And I was going to tell them about the painting company. So hopefully, like if we speak to them and they pass the interview, maybe they could take on like both roles.
Dude, you're not just looking for a unicorn. You're looking for a unicorn that flies. I don't know, dude. You're probably not getting much traction with that. You couldn't be.
We've only had 3 leads so far.
Okay. So first of all, anyone that you want to run your business is not okay with uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it that way. They're working for someone right now, running their business. Let's put it that way. Okay. All right. So they want certainty. Right now, the mindset should be, hey, we're starting a painting company. I need a foreman. Like, that's it. That's it. I mean, because if you're going to create a foreman for painting, you're not going to transition him to be a foreman for hardscape. If you're going to do painting, my suggestion is you guys do it all year. You don't just stop when you're not going to want to stop, you know?
Our plan is
So
to definitely keep it going throughout the full
just
year.
keep it going. I mean, just to have that as a buffer, you know, but to be honest, guys, I mean, we're just in a pickle here because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you guys could both put your efforts, energy, and attention on painting and get to the same destination that you would if you did 60% effort in painting, 40% effort in hardscape with the hardscape headache. And Jake, biggest problem we're going to run into, bro, is that you love hardscape so much that it's going to be hard for you to stay away, you know, unless you understand the concept of, I actually am ready to be free. I can't wait to just drive to my jobs. I can't wait to just check on things, make sure things are smooth, enjoy time with my family. Like you could do hardscape on the side. It's just, I think you guys should really sit down and decide how you want to go about this. If you want to keep the hardscape going, and I already know you have commitments for spring, like that's going to be a hard transition to make. But again, we're going like this when we don't even have one of them going like this, you know? So if you can create one of them to go like this and maybe hit a certain threshold with painting where you see what a system looks like. And that system is, we put out marketing, we get leads. Joe goes, he's doing great at selling jobs. We can take anyone from the outside thin air and we can put them into our system and they produce work, right? And we see what that system looks like. Now we can look at numbers and we can look at those numbers and say, okay, now we can make decisions based off of these numbers. Okay, now we're actually looking at what our profits are and we're looking at this and we're able to maybe get a truck and we're able to do this and maybe we spend more on advertising. We could do this and actually seeing what it's like to feel that feeling of the full circle of business, which you guys haven't yet experienced because it seems like in the hardscape business, job times take a while. The cash flow is kind of slow. Is that what's happening? Sometimes cash flow takes a little while.
It's usually like we finish a job a week is often how it goes.
Okay. So yeah, that's not bad. Job a week. Okay. But again, the issue here is the production. It's harder to find somebody that wants to do hardscape than it is painting. Okay. Those, you know, working outside isn't not many people volunteer for that in comparison to painting. So you brought up painting. I'm going to go on a painting tangent, but what do you guys think about all that, man? Was this in the right direction? I mean, I know I wasn't ready for the painting curveball. I think I handled it well.
Yeah, definitely in the right direction. And I mean, I think a lot of things you're saying make sense to us. And we want to do the hardscaping. We have so much potential there with little marketing and little advertising, all this stuff. I think it can be good, but yeah, to complete something that can go full year. I mean, we've got 3-4 months that we can dedicate to the painting.
That's what I'm saying. Do it. We can test it out. But Joe, where I'm getting at with you is in terms of your hiring strategy. I'm going to give you guys a hiring course. You can have it. It's a 4-lesson course. It'll go through what you really need to do. But when you bring someone into your world, guys, you got to make sure that it's a safe place, you know, and by that, I mean, let's take care of the gusto, or if you know of another payroll company that can make sure that there's a foundation there, you know, give someone a reason to want to jump ship. You know, the problem right now is you guys don't even have painting business branding. Like there's going to be a lot of confusion there right now for anyone that comes in, but that's a requirement of you guys to actually hit the gas and do it. Create the branding, get a new logo, get a new Google listing, go through all those channels. And it's gruesome. It sucks doing all this stuff, you know, the website and all this.
We've already done all that. Like everything's live when it comes to the painting. We just haven't decided how we're going to really start it off. Like we were even thinking of doing the marketing on our Blue Water site because we have such a we're respected around the community. And what do you think that?
Passive strategy could work where you put that up there. Hey, by the way, we do painting. Kind of confusing. You don't really see many hardscape companies do painting.
We would promote a different company. We would say hey, here's our sister company or something like that. Like we wouldn't say Blue Water Stone is doing painting.
Okay. Yeah. So, but I would say find an aggressive strategy. Facebook ads, number one. I mean, that's aggressive. You're putting out ads on Facebook. Spend the money. You know, there's Home Stars out there, and you guys you're not even a part of that with hardscape, but painting you can do it. Home Stars is just a lead generation service. Okay. I think start there. Just get a couple leads, see what that process looks like, guys, and then and then make a decision once you see what it looks like. You're probably gonna have to paint the first few jobs. You might grab your worker that works for you and say, hey man, we're transitioning to painting. Do you think he'd be down to do it?
Which we've done, yeah.
Which you've done. But again, Joe, this comes down to you, hiring process. You have the ad. Then from there, you get some traction. You got to do that phone interview. From that phone interview, you got to sit down with them, do that in-person interview. And I cover all this in that training that I'm going to give you, so you can watch it and go through it. But yeah, man, you guys can do it. I think you can do it. I think, but here's my advice, like honest truth advice. If you do this and you get to month 3 and you guys see some traction, I would strongly consider scaling back on the hardscape. Maybe do the jobs that you have committed and just see what it looks like. You know, see if the stress goes away. See if you guys start to get some employees in there, and it becomes a much, you know, maybe you guys stand on top of your business at that point. And once it's at a certain level, then maybe one of you can run it, and then the other one can go and really do the same exact thing you learned in there and do it in the hardscape. You know, but a 5-month gap is way too long to even do anything with the hardscape right now.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Can't do anything. You know, it's like I feel stuck.
The knowledge we could now.
If I feel stuck, I know you guys feel stuck. I want to create this training for the grading, the walls, you know, you know, but we can't do anything because it's gonna get really cold there. So I'm excited, man, about the painting. You know, I hope you guys run with that. Are you guys are you guys in our painting contractor group?
No, not yet, but
yeah, look it up. Painting contractors. On there, you'll see we have like 50,000 members on there, but it's a great place for you guys to hear the language. There are a lot of training in there, a lot of people putting up their pictures of what they do, just kind of get a feel for how the industry works. But yeah, man. So in the beginning, I was like, oh man, I'm finally going to talk to hardscapers. I can't get away from painters.
Yeah, we're just wearing a mask, I guess, eh?
Nah, no worries. Do you guys have anything else? Any other questions? Was this helpful today?
It was very helpful.
Yeah, quite helpful.
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah. Anything outstanding you guys want to cover before we depart?
Everything?
No, I don't think so.
No, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
With you once the painting gets going, and
when the painting is going, you got to come back. We gotta hammer out some things. Joe, I'll send you whoever's number I have here. I'll send a text message with a link for you guys to grab the course. Get that hire and hire now. It's okay to hire now. I'm just saying in the background, get that payroll set up. Get the legal stuff done. So when you hire, you're ready to rock. Hire before you have a paint job. You know, don't even worry about it. That'll push you to get one. They're easy to find. Sign up with HomeStars today. That's the quickest way you're going to get a lead. Did you write that down? I saw you writing after I said that. HomeStars. Yeah. Just sign up with them. See what happens. You'll get a lead today from somebody who wants a paint job. Joe, go give them a paint estimate, man. Don't be, just run in there and go do it. I have a little calculator I'll send you too. It'll help you calculate your price for the painting. So a couple of things I'll give you. All right, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you
Thanks
very much.
Appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. All right, see you.
Dripjobs CRM is finally here. That's right. So Dripjobs is an automation platform for contractors, home service professionals that's going to automatically follow up with your customers. It's going to allow you to send invoices, estimates. It's going to allow you to send out blast marketing emails to individuals based on where they are in the buying process. This software is next level. And I'm reaching out to you. You're a listener of this podcast, and I want you to be one of the first ones to give it a shot. So if you want to see what Dripjobs can do for your business, I'd love for you to head over to dripjobs.com, sign up for a free demo, and get your team involved, and let us sit with you and show you how powerful this software is. It's going to save you time, it's going to make you money, and you're going to love the features that are built into Dripjobs. So if you want to check it out, head over to dripjobs.com. And we will give you first priority being a podcast listener to be one of the very first to try out Dripjobs in your home service business. I'm super excited to share that with you, and I'll catch you on the next episode.